Hola guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I prepare purple sea moss. Purple sea moss is literally my favorite moss. I love the taste of it. I just love how, it has increased my vitality as well. I just added some water just to show you guys how I wash my purple moss. So as soon as I get it out of the pack, I'm going to take about, a few handfuls of moss and just start washing it. Washing it and rinsing it in water, and notice how I'm picking it up and like massaging it and putting it back down and just picking it up and letting it fall back into the water and just having this like clawing, grabbing motion. That's how I like to wash my moss. You can move it and shake it a little bit. I just like to do that so that the sand and all the debris from the sea can just float to the bottom of the bowl or whatever I'm using to wash my moss in. Here I'm just showing you how I do my moss a little bit more until this is a little bit more aggressive. However, I rinse mine about maybe 3 or 4 times. This is very important because if you want your moss to be very clean and you want to get a good solid gel, you have to rinse it well. Here I'm showing you the difference between when I get the moss and how it looks, the dry moss versus the more washed moss. And this isn't even hydrated moss all the way, it's just washed. Once I have my moss washed well, I'm going to let it sit in some distilled water for 8 hours, making sure that you cover it completely with water and let it sit for 8 hours. This is important because this is when the moss rehydrates and reactivates all of the minerals and vital nutrients that are within the moss. Now, sea moss has 92 of the 102 minerals the body needs. It's great for reducing inflammation and improving the immune system. We're going to take about 6 to 7 cups of boiling water, take it off the stove. We're going to add our beautiful sea moss to that and let it sit, okay? Very important that the sea moss is not boiling. Take the pot off of the stove completely and add the sea moss in and let it steep. Cover it for 45 minutes, and then we're going to come back to it. So we have some steeped sea moss right here. And what we're going to do now is strain it. We want to strain out all of the liquid from the sea moss and keep all of the sea moss. Don't throw the liquid away. Keep it. Okay, we're going to use it later, but right now we're just going to strain it and make sure that we take all of the water out away from the purple sea moss. Okay, so just make sure you strain it very well. All right, so once the sea moss has been strained, we're going to add the strained sea moss into our blender and add the liquid that we strained into the sea moss as well. Now, this is important because sometimes your measurements may be off. You may have too little sea moss and too much water. So this is a good way for you to correct those measurements. But again, this is something trial and error, to be honest with you. You're eyeballing it as far as the amount of moss, what dry moss equals, the gel that you want. So it's okay if you kind of don't get everything exact. What is important is for you to blend it up. I blend for at least 5 to 7 minutes just until I feel like it's a nice consistency. Everything is incorporated right and it has a smoothness to it. All right. So once that's happened, you can go ahead and pour your sea moss gel into or sea moss liquid into your choice container. I pour mine into something like this and put it into the refrigerator or the freezer in order to solidify. You want to let it stay for about 4 to 8 hours and it'll be a gel after that. This is how mine looked when I finished. And you can play around with the consistency. So it doesn't have to be exactly like mine. It can be harder. It can be liquidy, whatever you want. But you can definitely play around, trial and error with it, all right? I appreciate you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please share, like, and subscribe. After this video, I'll also be giving another video on how to use the purple sea moss in my favorite shake that I use with my amino blend that I make. And I'll see you guys next time. Mwah.